The people that made Shredder's Revenge are making a new beat-em-up game that's coming out later this year.
For real this time. I checked.
In the meantime, I thought it'd be a good idea to go back to their first beat-em-up that I played. Before that, though, I need to check out the games that actually inspired it.
I bought this collection over 2 years ago now because I wanted to review it. I took so long they're on a completely different channel now. Yeah.
So we're gonna be looking at—
Also, yes. Yes, this is a thing. This is a gag.
So we're gonna be looking at a few games today. Some of them in their entirety, and others just a quick look at. We got the original TMNT Arcade game, the NES port of that game, the Manhattan Project, the sequel to that arcade game, Turtles in Time, and the ports that exist on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. Leave it in the comments down below which one you think I'm going to like the most out of all these games. Also leave a comment that says Stinker Bingus Turtle. Also which one's your favorite turtle. And if it's not Mikey, then I'm banned. Okay, let's start with the original. I don't think I can actually play the music here without YouTube getting mad at me, so just imagine it. Released in 1989, the first game we have here was an arcade machine with up to 4 players being playable at once. Not surprising because, well, duh. Still, kind of impressive for the time though.
So the controls in this collection kind of suck, not because of the button layouts or anything like that, and you won't even notice this if you're not on Switch. I unfortunately am on Switch, although, I mean, not like unfortunately, but you know. But my point is, I have to play like this. I can't go and do one of these. I can't play like this. It just doesn't work. My guess is because these buttons, like this one, can be utilized to like rewind. So if you're playing just the single one, then you can't do that. So they don't let you play with just the single one. So you have to have that. That's stupid. Why? Bro. Just let me have the 4 controllers. Just disable that function when I had the Joy-Con by itself. Super easy. That wasn't the solution. The solution was you want controller.
The Turtles seem to play a bit, and I mean a bit different from one another. Based on the manuals for some of the other games in this collection, they do seem to have slight differences in speed, strength, and stamina. Raph, for example, being the strongest. That could not be the case for this game though, I didn't bother looking into it. The artwork is very, well, old. Some of these look like they came out of Windows Paint. The sprites themselves are not the worst. The turtles look like they should. They are a bit taller than what they should be though. The Foot Clan also doesn't look bad, but they are pretty simple, maybe a bit too simple. I do really like some of these shots that change depending on who's actually playing, adding and subtracting turtles from the shot. In terms of gameplay though, it doesn't get much more simple than this. There's an attack button and a jump button. And that's it. If you press the attack and the jump button at the same time, you do a special attack that does more damage. In this collection, this attack was given its own dedicated button. So yeah, you punch guys a lot and that's it. This game really is a button masher. Not to say that you can't get better at this game, but I mean, I don't know, the game's really, really simple. I will sometimes perform this overhead throw seemingly at random. You can dive kick. Yeah, I'm really running out of things to say about the mechanics. That's it. Don't get me wrong, it is fun to play, but just not as fun as some of the other games, and again, it's just this. In terms of the enemies, it's the Foot Clan and the occasional robot. I mean, I guess here the Foot Clan are actually robots, but you know what I mean. There are some different variations of ninjas, like some with spears, some with guns, others with boomerangs. I would like to say that this adds a nice amount of variation here, but honestly, I didn't really notice the difference while playing. But that's okay, because even the most basic Foot Clan member can mess you up. This game is hard. It's a coin guzzler. Overly difficult, so you have to spend more money to beat it. It costs absolutely nothing to put more coins in the machine in this port, because all you gotta do is you just gotta press the start button, and that's a coin being placed in there. That's all it takes. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to spam though. Like if you spam it, I like it. Look at this. That's good. It is not that long of a game at all. You can beat it in 30 minutes. But damn, you take a lot of punishment in this game. They can gang up on you super fast. The bosses aren't much better, and as a matter of fact, they're worse. Rocksteady has a machine gun for some reason. Did he have that in the show? Did he have a machine gun in the show? Bebop has this wave gun, which is way more appropriate. He also uppercuts the crap out of you. We have the worst boss fight in Baxter Stockman. He just flies around and wastes time, and it's just, yeah, I hate this. I really hope this archetype doesn't return in any of these other games, because this is terrible. We then fight Dumb and Dumber again, this time together, which will become a staple boss fight in these types of games. We then fight this guy. I think he's like from, what is it, Dimension X, something like that? No, he's from another dimension, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. He is by far the worst boss here. He can lock you in place very easily. Not fun. This next guy is also pretty bad. I hate getting knocked into this electrical fence thing. It also sounds like he's saying "F the turtles."
F the turtle.
Yeah, that's just what he's saying. After that, we have Krang, and he sucks. Though I did manage to find this sweet spot while I was playing with Raph. And yeah, that worked out pretty well, but otherwise, I don't like him. Then we fight Shredder, and he sucks a little less, and then it's over. He has this attack that turns us back into a baby turtle, and it's a one-hit kill. It kills us and takes away one of our lives. That sucks. Also, how can he do this? Sorry if I didn't have too much to say about this game, but it's just, what you see is what you get. It's just this. Yeah. That's gonna be the tagline for this video. There are interesting set pieces like this one with the skateboards or this one down the street, but I mean, it's an old beat 'em up. Yeah, it takes you 2 seconds to get what's going on. I don't have 3 extra controllers, but I do have 1 more, so I was able to play with 1 more person. When playing with 1 more person, the game did feel a lot better. I wasn't ganged up nearly as much, and it felt all around just more enjoyable. There was even more Shredders that showed up at the end to compensate for the extra character, which was pretty funny. Moving on though, the next game is the second arcade game, Turtles in Time. I'm pretty sure I can't play Pizza Power here either, I'm sorry. Coming out in 1991, this arcade game looks much, much better than the original. We have more dynamic animations, better looking sprites, and it feels a lot better to play. I mean, just look at this. You can tell it's less of a pain to play. We can now run in the game, but this happens on its own after you spend a few seconds walking in one direction. You can then tackle from there or do a dodge move. The special attack you can do seems to be a lot less useful than before, at least this one was, where he jumps up in the air, and yeah, that's a lot less useful than it was before. Not that big of a deal though, because again, this game is just a lot better to play, so I didn't really feel the need to spam the special move this time. You can once again grab people at random, though you can choose whether to continuously slam them or just throw them away this time, I think. I'm making that choice, and it's not just random. The first stage is pretty short, and we fight Dr. Stockman at the end, this time in his fly form. He's pretty easy, which makes sense because this is the first stage. He has this handgun thing, like it shoots out a hand. Is that pizza dough? I don't know. Does it even hurt me? I don't think so. The only reason why I'm holding this shot is because I want more footage of him on screen. Yeah, moving on. This game is basically the first one, but better. But good even. Not just better, it's actually good. Okay, maybe that's going a little too far. The first game wasn't bad. Capital B. We have a new power-up that we can grab. Pizza Power! It kind of sucks. It lasts less than 10 seconds. It's not very impactful and not very reoccurring. Yeah, not the biggest fan of this. Once again, we have different color ninjas, but yet again, I just really couldn't tell the difference between them while I was actually playing. And again, while watching the footage, it's a lot more obvious, but when I'm in the moment, I didn't notice. Like how these axe guys get stuck after a swing, or how these yellow guys throw bombs, these green ones have a bow and arrow. This one has a tuning fork, and I find that very funny. This time around, we have pizza xenomorph looking things, and I hate them. They're not easy to hit, and they're not, I don't like them at all. They spend most of their time underwater and then pop out for 1 second, so you're spending most of your time just waiting for them to pop up, and it's, yeah. And then if you miss, you have to wait more, and it's not very fun. After fighting them, though, Shredder sends us back in time somehow. Yeah, ninjas riding dinosaurs. We face off rock guys here, which are a bit more sturdy than the foot, and then we face off with Clayface at the end of the level, which you cannot tell me this is not Clayface. This is just Clayface.
Man, I just had a shower.
No, for real, who is he though? Like, why is Clayface here? After that, we go to 1530 on a pirate ship. No pirate ninjas, sadly, but there are these blue ones with the katanas. But yeah, why aren't there pirate ninjas? There's no thematic ninjas in this game, which is weird. I don't like the floor obstacles, there's just too many of them. It's just way too easy to get hit, and it just slows things down, and it makes me feel stupid, and I don't like that. The rock guys are packing heat now, though, which is concerning. The yellow ninjas now have this, I don't know, some like alien tech that floats around at us. Some sort of frisbee, future frisbee. I have no idea. We then face Toka and Razor from the second live-action movie, The Secret of the Ooze. Apparently, they made their way into the animated series at some point, which is why they're here. I didn't know that before. That's kind of weird, no? Is it just me? I think that's kind of weird. They just kind of run around, though. They can crash into each other like Bebop and Rocksteady could in the last game, though, so yeah, they're fulfilling that role at least. Once we beat them, they turn back into a normal turtle and dog, which is very cute and referencing the movie, I guess. And then after that, we're off to a train level. Not a fan of this train level. I don't really know why. I don't particularly like train levels in games in general. I especially don't like that noise at all, like not even a little bit. I didn't even notice there was a ninja disguised as a cowboy before. That's funny. I guess I was wrong when I said there was no thematic ninjas in this game. There is. He's just obscure. These orange ninjas have chain whips, which is cool. Bazookas? Really? No idea who this Croc is, but he is probably the boss that is most like a boss from the first game, where he could just kind of very easily take you down and it sucks. Not a fan. After that, we go to the far-flung future of 2020. Yeah. This is one of those skateboarding levels, but in the future. In the past. Didn't mention it that much last time, but I really do hate flying enemies in these kind of games because you have to spend time jumping and then hitting the attack button to hit them once, and then you have to do that over and over again. It sucks. I don't like it. Me no likey. Me thinky this is retardo-y. But yeah, besides that, not much more to say about this level. Here we fight Krang again for the first time in this game, and I hate him even more this time. He is really after your damn quarters this time around. This FU kick sucks. It's hard. It's painful. Makes my bones brittle, and they're gonna break and shatter, and I'm gonna be a glob on the floor with no bones because they were hollow. Actually, hollow bones make you stronger. That's not true. We then actually go to the future. It has these little robots that can trap you for a short second, and I love them. Other than that, it's just a normal level. But we're gonna stay on the shot for a little while longer, just so we can look at it for a bit longer, and we can justify even cutting to this in the first place. We then fight Dr. Stockman from the first game again, but he's actually Krang. Not fun, you have to jump at him a lot because duh, and it's stupid and annoying, and there's a lot of little robots around, and I don't like it. Did we just kill him? We then face off Shredder, who is a lot taller than what he should be. He is stealing our bitch from the first game, and he has a lightsaber for some reason. Why does he have that? Does he have that in the show? Does he ever have a lightsaber in the show? Leave it in the comments down below, because I've only seen the first season of that, like 2 or 3 years ago. He honestly is a lot less intimidating than he was the last time, probably because he's freakishly tall now and it looks stupid. Okay, it doesn't look that bad, but it is weird. After you beat him, he falls down to his doom, and you win. It's a lot better than the first one, but even then, there just really isn't that much to say about this game. It's about as short as before. Definitely an improvement from the last game in every way, except for the sound it makes when you put a quarter in. See, that's just not as fun to spam as it was in the first game. This game is often considered to be the best of the bunch, and I can definitely see why. Not too long, not too short, a lot of fun with friends, and it looks great.
Forgot to mention a boss. I forgot to mention this guy. I don't know his name, but here he is. He's a robotic, mechanical turtle, ninja turtle guy. I like him. He does stuff. He looks cool. I don't remember anything unique about him. Does he do the fist thing, or he like uppercuts you? Or is that in the next game that we're reviewing? Shredder's Revenge. That's boxed down there. I'm not gonna get. I don't remember. But yeah, I forgot to mention this guy, so I'm throwing this at the end of the Turtles in Time segment. Yep. Whoops.
Before ending this, I want to go over the console ports of Turtles in Time. I'll start with the NES, which is actually probably the one that people consider to be the best one out of the bunch. I don't really think people are really thinking about the arcade version when they say Turtles in Time is the best. Yeah, also we're going to look at the Genesis version, but that's like almost like a different game technically. So, TMNT 4, Turtles in Time. Wait, 4? Why is this 4? This is only the third game we're looking at for this video. And it's the second game. Why isn't this 2? Okay, so on the original Nintendo, there was that terrible TMNT game that we have all seen AVGN talk about. There was also a port of the first arcade game, which is the second game. I have very little to say about this version of the game, even less so than the actual game for the arcade. It is more difficult than the arcade version, which is insane. The first level is also a decent bit longer than the original. Like, why? I game overed in the first stage. Why? It's kind of cool that they managed to even put this thing on the NES, but why would you play it now? You really wouldn't. But it's kind of cool that it's here. It's also not good. It's not a good game though. Like this one, I will say is bad. Why'd they make the freaking hallway so much longer? That's stupid. The NES also got a completely original game, TMNT 3: The Manhattan Project.
Cowabunga!
This is a neat little game, but by far the hardest here, other than the one we just briefly looked at. Not just because you can't spam quarters to win, but also because it's an NES game, and you know what that entails. It can feel pretty stiff at times. This matters a lot less if there's 2 players since you are sharing the burden. Be careful though, since you can actually hit each other. Why is that in the game? Why is that in a beat 'em up game? That's weird. That's a weird decision. This game starts us off on the beach because we're actually on vacation. The turtles go on vacations? That's strange. April gets kidnapped by Shredder and then all of Manhattan gets plucked out of the water. Each turtle has a special move that they can do, but when they do it, it takes some of their health away, so be careful. These are a lot more useful than the ones that were in the previous 2 games where it was just like a hit that did a little bit more damage. No, these are significantly more flashy and varied and stuff like that. Like Raph is like a missile. He like turns himself into like a missile. It's really weird and useful. But it does take health away, so be careful. We also have this move that you can do by hitting down on the D-pad while you're attacking. This will kill the enemy a lot faster, but also you're going to be doing it by accident if you're moving down and hitting the attack button. Once again, we have different kinds of ninjas that do different kinds of things, like throwing ninja stars or throwing sand in our face. That's pretty toxic, bro. There's something really charming about how this game looks and sounds. Like, yeah, it is worse than the other games we're looking at today, but it is good enough. The game has a lot of sprite flickering problems, though you can turn that off in the settings before even booting the game up. This game is ostensibly the same as the first game in terms of complexity, actually a little less so. You can't run, you can't throw people besides this over-the-head thing that I showed before. Is this the replacement for that? I don't think so. Well, is it? That's kind of weird. So yeah, it's pretty simple, but again, it's an old school beat 'em up. This is how things just were. First boss we get is Rocksteady. I will say that the bosses here feel a lot like they did in the first game, which wasn't great. Except it's almost like kind of worse here because they're so aggressive, but also I can't spam quarters. He has a harpoon gun this time around, which is a lot less lethal. He has this terrible kick that will send you flying, and he can charge at you. The kick is pretty bad because you have to spend time moving back towards him, and yeah, I don't like it. I don't like having to move. Moving is bad. No, it just wastes time, and it slows things down. He does it way too much. These bosses are a lot more manageable though with 2 players, even if we're not very coordinated. Raph, are you okay? You okay there, buddy? We're coming over here. Yeah, there you go. After beating him, we get the surfing level, which is fine. I think the slowdown and the obstacles kind of kills this level for me. I do really like the music though. I do like how we don't have to deal with the pizza monsters though. I like that. That's a positive change. I'm really not that big of a fan of this next part because of these turrets. Turns out you can actually destroy them. I wish I would have known that when I was actually playing. Because if you don't do that, then you're basically getting hit all the time by these things. It's here where we get the white ninjas. They kind of stand out because of their massive swords, though they seem to have pretty low health. The next boss is, well, I don't know who this is actually, but he's here. He has a multi-charge attack. He also has this multi-swing attack that will wreck you. Really not a fan of this guy. His attacks are just way too frequent to avoid. I do really like this next level in terms of looks at least. We get these big buff guys that actually have an attack that's pretty similar to the last boss. I really don't like how they can slap you out of the air. I would really mind it a lot less if it didn't send you to the other side of the screen every single time. I really do like Slash though. He looks really dope. He has this shell attack and he jumps around a lot. Not too hard to avoid his attacks for the most part though, which makes him a way better boss than the other ones up to this point. He is only the Midway boss though, from Midway. I think Midway actually made this game. Bruh. Did they? I hope they did. The actual final boss here is Bebop with his head chain. Is this a normal thing for him? You can kind of cheese him with positioning, although I didn't really manage to do that well. Guys, I'm struggling to find things to say about this game because again, it's just what you see is what you get. I can only say so little about everything in this game. Yeah. I want to talk about the next level because it's a classic city thing and I want to be able to show this in my SR review and go, look, they did it again. It's like the old games but new. But it's hard to justify me like talking about this game really because again, for the 50th time, what you see is what you get. It's very straightforward. I'm struggling to make a simple video. This is an 8-page review. Why is it so long? Because if it wasn't, it'd be like a 2-second video where I say all these games are basically the same, and that would suck. They are fun. I don't want to make them sound like they're not fun. They are fun, but like, look, there's these anvil guys. They have anvils. Looney Tunes music that will get the copyright strike happening on this video. Bruh, sound effect, bruh, sound effect, bruh. I think the problem with these games is that you can't dedicate that much time into them like I usually do for my videos because again, they're just very straightforward. Yeah, like this mole guy is basically the same as the other bosses for the most part. Like the biggest thing is that he does this attack and then at the third hit he gets stuck. And I actually have like an opportunity to hit him, which is very, very good design. Very like, not necessarily modern, but closer to modern design. All the other ones just hit you a lot. So there's that, I guess. These sewer levels are fine. I don't like this guy. Who's this guy? I just wrote this guy in the script and didn't specify who I'm talking about. So when I'm editing this, I'll have no idea who the hell I was talking about. This crocodile has a shotgun. Crocodile shotgun. DaVinci Resolve really sucks when it does text, doesn't it? It just sucks so much. Why does it look terrible? Can't even do proper crocodile shotgun memes without it looking like shit. Okay, so yeah, we get to storm the Technodrome like we do in the other games and like we'll do in the future games. And it's very similar to those other times, but I still like it. There are these robots that jump out of the way when you dive kick them though. That's legitimately interesting. It's like a thing. That's cool. It forces you to change up your approach. These bug monsters, they're not monsters, they're robots. These bug robots are annoying. I don't like them. We see how the Foot Clan are assembled at one point, which is pretty cool. Makes me think of Episode 2. Makes me think of Lego Star Wars. You guys remember Lego Star Wars? Remember how I reviewed those games last year? That was stupid. That killed the channel. We get these blue guys again. Hashtag epic. Hashtag epic games. Hashtag Fort. We fight Razor here. He has this breath attack, which is weird. It freezes us. I don't know why he has this. Is this something he does in the movie? I don't remember. I am down though. He's cool. He looks cool. He has a big head though. At least he doesn't charge at us like every other boss in this game does though. I like that. Me gusta hablar español así, aunque sí sé hablar español bien de verdad. I'm spiraling. Right after that, we fight Shredder. He has this similar move to us, but instead of just throwing us over his head, he like flings us to another dimension. By that, I mean like the other side of the room. He also bounces off the wall, which is pretty cool and epic. I like doing that into the mic. He's pretty tough. He's a pretty tough boss. Though I did only play him solo, so I don't know if it's like a lot easier playing with multiple people. I do like how April looks in the background. That's cool. She's animated. Anyways, we save April and the game isn't over. Shredder gets away because we were distracted because the turtles are simps. They're simming for a woman. So yeah, we get on this elevator and we go after him. We fight on the rooftop again. The blue guys. You guys remember the blue guys? They're here again. We also play jump rope with these guys. Epic. This is something new. We eventually fight Toka. I really like how he looks. I like his punches. This boy is punching. He really likes to punch. He has this shield that he blocks our dive kicks with, which is pretty interesting. Let's just look at him for a bit more, because again, I really like how he looks. Let's just hold this moment in time and enjoy the footage that we're watching on screen. Anyways, back to the Technodrome again. Were we in the Technodrome earlier? Maybe I was mistaken and we weren't actually there, but it looked like we were. Maybe we were in Weenie Hut Jr. Maybe that's where we were. Anyways, we've been here before in the previous games. We will be here again. I said this already. This is why it's bad to improv lines, me. Because then you realize you already wrote that in the script later. Look at this, and this, and this, and this familiar room in which we fight Krang. Yeah. I really don't like this fight. This fight sucks. He eventually splits into two and he shoots some missiles at us and whatnot. And we punch him a lot. He also does this thing where he electrifies his body, so if you hit him, you get hit yourself. It's not even like a thing where you can't hit him, where he just prolongs the fight. No, you actually get punished for trying to hit him. The one thing you do in this game, and you get punished for it. After that, we get Super Shredder from the second movie, and he really likes to teleport around and whatnot, and he also summons lightning. I don't know why they didn't make him purple, but okay. He also can turn us into a baby turtle here like he could in the other games, but he doesn't actually kill us. We just turn into a teeny little baby turtle. We can actually still control ourselves, which is weird. We also obviously grow up again. After punching him in the face a couple times, he goes down, we beat the game. Ground Chuck? Yeah, I prefer not knowing what your name is. Game is fun, has a lot of charm, but I have nothing more to say, but it is fun, and I really hope that me rambling like this doesn't make it sound like this game sucks, because it doesn't. But this was the last game I played for this review, so that's probably why this part of the script is the most let's move the fuck on-ish. So, here we have the Super Nintendo port of Turtles in Time. I actually like this one more than the arcade version, which is pretty weird. We are sadly, though, limited to 2 players, but in my case, I was already limited to 2 players because of the port. As you can see, we have the option to play with the animated series colors on, or the original comic ones. Well, not the original comic ones, because that would be like in black and white, but the original comic ones, which are the same as the 2003 series, which is why I'm picking that every single time. In terms of differences, the tackle doesn't seem to send enemies flying back, instead it just kind of hits them. The special attacks take away health as we use them, just like in Manhattan Project, but I think no, that game came out first, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I think that game came up with the idea. Maybe the NES version of the first arcade game. I don't know. I don't remember. We get an additional life after hitting 200 points, so even though we can't stuff quarters into our SNES that isn't actually real in this case, we can get extra lives. The hitting sound effect is a lot different here than it was before. I like it a bit more. It sounds a lot more punchy, which is good because it is a punch. There are also some additional levels and bosses. So when we reach the end of the sewer, instead of going back in time, we fight the Rat King. He shoots missiles and spiky things at us that make us go. Pretty easy fight. After that, we go to the Technodrome like we did in the first game. This is a whole new level, which makes this game actually longer than the arcade version, which is pretty funny to think of. At the end, we fight Toka and Razor, which were originally in the pirate ship. We actually fight them here in this place, very similar to the first game, and is also similar to the third game. Toga can freeze us this time around, so I guess it wasn't just like a unique thing from the last game. I didn't notice anything special about Razor though, but that's not actually even the end of the level. We then get into this elevator sequence that has some pretty dope music. After that, we fight Shredder in this mech. We have to throw the foot ninjas at him to actually damage him. Not gonna lie, I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to throw them here. I tried hitting them once and then hitting them again and actually holding down the button, and I have no idea if that actually made the thing happen or not, or how it works. I don't know. No idea. I do like this concept though, it's very original. It's also very arcade-like, which is funny to say because it's not in the arcade version. After we beat him, he then sends us back in time, which just makes a lot more sense than him sending us back in time at the end of the sewer level. At the end of the next level, we fight Slash instead of Clayface, which just makes a lot more sense to me. He seems to block a lot, which makes this fight a bit longer than I would like, but okay. It also doesn't help that he jumps all over the place. Once again, the next level is a pirate ship. Biggest difference in this level is that the green ninjas will now shoot one arrow and then leave, unlike in the arcade version where they would stick around. The stupid floor hazard is still here though, and I don't like it. By the way, you can throw the rock guys now, which is crazy. You can? I don't remember that, but the past me wrote that in the script, so I'm gonna hope he was right. Since we faced off with Toka and Razor already, we now face Bebop and Rocksteady instead, both dressed as pirates. See? Now this is what makes sense. They're dressed as pirates because they're on a pirate ship. Rocksteady has a sword. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't write anything else about them here, so we're holding this thing for footage. The train level seems to be about the same, but the horses no longer make that terrible sound, so it's significantly better. The boss seems to be the exact same here. The 2020 stage, however, is a bit different, being in a whole new perspective when you're riding on the future skateboards. No idea why they changed it, but I like it enough to not think it's a bad change. The boss here is still Krang, but he's a lot easier, although that might be because I had two people here, I don't know. I didn't notice him using the Kick of Death as much, so there is that. The next level seems to be largely unchanged. Krang's boss fight here is a lot less annoying because it's a lot easier to hit him. Also, there isn't many small robots running around, which is good because I didn't like them. They were dumb and stupid and I hated them. The final boss isn't against Shredder, but Super Shredder, which made a lot more sense in this script when I wrote this before writing the previous game segment. Instead of having a lightsaber, he shoots fire, ice, or green magic stuff at us. Fire is at ground level, ice is aimed upwards, and the green stuff is straight at you. Just like before, he falls off the edge to his not death and you win. We don't get a news report thing at the end of this game though. So yeah, this is my favorite port of the game. Really liked it, a lot of fun. The Genesis port is technically a different game, Hyperstone Heist, but it is basically, it's like almost like it's like kind of a port. It is trying to be something else, but also not really. It has different stages, different bosses. Still has the same option to play with the comic book colors though, so we did that. We actually start off in the sewer level this time. I will say it does look better than the SNES version though, I think. Does it? Let's see. Here's the SNES version of things, and then here's the Genesis. Back to NES, and now Genesis. And now the NES version of the arcade. Which one of these games is the best? Leave it in the comments down below. I'm voting on NES version of a first arcade game. Funny enough, I actually remember liking this game more than the other versions, but this time around I preferred the SNES version for some reason. After the sewer bit, we have another classic street level. The power-up in this part still sucks. It's the same. Yeah. After the street level, we are back to the sewer. Actually, I think this is all technically on the same level. I don't know why I guess it makes sense. We're turtles, we're in the sewer, then we go up, then we go back down. It is kind of weird, though. At the end, we fight Leatherhead in the sewer, which, okay, that also kind of makes sense. I get what they were going for. I really do like the sound effect here, by the way. After the sewer, we end up here. Did I miss something? What's going on? I mean, it's a neat level, I guess, but how did we get up? Why are we here? We end up on a pirate ship. Did I miss what is this explained in the manual? Are we time traveling? What's going on? We're just kind of like fading to black and then And then what are we doing? This level looks a lot different than the other one, I will say. So there is that at least. Buff rock dude on the ship. I forget if they were on the ship levels in the other games. Were they? Leave it in the comments down below. Anyways, after the ship part, we end up in a cave. What's happening? Why are we like teleporting? This is weird. I don't like the ninjas that block. I usually hit them with a special attack just because they're annoying. Rocksteady is the boss here, and he works more or less like he did in the other games. He has his gun again, which is neat. He also does look very good visually. Did he just fucking explode? No, not Cowabunga. That dude's dead. The hell's the matter with you? After that, we are here in like Japan, I think. Fire-breathing ninjas are cool. Okay, this is Japan because this inside looks very Japan-esque. Okay. Damn, they even got the bamboo sticks in here. That's racist. Okay, let's keep showing clips. So there's a little bit more. Yeah, okay. Yeah, look at those Mousers. Yeah, ninjas shooting lasers at me. Yeah, the boss here is Tatsu from the movie? What is going on with this game? He brings in other ninjas to help him fight, which I'm guessing they're like teenagers that are just like having hormonal problems, and he's taking advantage of their adolescence. I don't know. That happened in the movie, right? It's very jarring since this isn't Shredder, but he's not like a freakish mutant guy dressed in a pirate uniform or something, other kooky, crazy characters we've seen in these games. He's not all like bug-eyed when we punch him in the face. No, he's just a dude. Just a guy. It's unique at the very least. He also fucking explodes when he dies. And this time I'm actually concerned because he did just explode and die. Stop that. This dude's dead because of you. After that, we get some stuff that I didn't record, so I don't know. But after that, we do get a boss rush, which is, I'm guessing there's like clones because the real ones are freaking dead. They're also recolored, so yeah, I do really like the recolored robe on Tatsu though. That looks nice. I'm glad the original died so that they could give the clone a different robe because it looks good. At the end, we have human stockmen with his stupid Mousers, and yeah, you've seen this boss already more or less. It's yeah. This time I really didn't like the sound that they make when you get punched because it's like slightly delayed because of the jumping and the hitting, and it was enough to not be good. Yeah, not satisfying at all, just annoying. Beating him sends us to the Technodrome again. I like this part with the glass floor, and this part with the bodies. This is gnarly, dude. Yeah, Genesis don't when Nintendo don't. Genesis do when Nintendo don't. I messed up the quote. We fight Krang. I don't like him. What's new? Nothing. I've said that literally every time we've seen this man in these games. At least it's consistent. He seems to be the same as before, yeah, yada yada. After that, we enter into this elevator like we did in the other games. Whole bunch of different enemies here. Nice segment. After that, we get Super Shredder yet again with his elemental attacks. I really don't like him here though. I don't remember if he's different in the Super Nintendo version, but here, before he attacks, he like lights himself on fire, and that's the thing that does damage. So if you're too close to him, you get hit, and it's stupid. And I don't like it. It's really stupid, and I hate it, and I don't like it. It's stupid. Subscribe for more analysis of this type where I just say it's stupid repeatedly. We beat him though, and he falls to his death, and he's stupid, and he's lame, and we're epic. Didn't write a conclusion, so now we're just speaking from the heart. These games were definitely fun, and I'm sure I made them sound a lot less fun than they actually are. Anyways, Cowabunga Collection, really cool. They also made that, the people that put it together also made that Power Rangers game that I reviewed earlier last year. Not earlier, but later, a few months ago. It actually got some updates, so yeah, the game's a lot different now. So I don't know, that review is like outdated now. Anyways, thank you all for watching. This review is weird. AC, are you watching? Was this a funny video, AC? AC, are you still watching? If you are, comment Pokemon Stadium on the Nintendo 64 in the comments down below. And if you don't, then I'll be giga sad. Also, yes. Yes, this is a thing. This is a gag. This is the disgusting Zoomer mustache. It's a gag. This isn't gonna be a regular thing. This isn't gonna become a regular thing unless you like it. And if you do, leave it in the comments down below. If you despise this, as I do, also say that in the comments down below. Why is this so low?
There we go. It's better. There we go. I fixed the lights. I went to film school. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. AC. I think I mentioned you already, so why am I mentioning you again? Yeah. Next video, we're not sure what it's gonna be. It's either gonna be vote which game you want to do, which game you want me to review next. Either the Dragon Ball one or the Wizard one. FPS Wizardry. Wizardry Online. Ultima Online. This is disgusting, dude. This needs to go away. I'm never doing this again. It's kind of funny, right? Yeah, like, John, do you think this is funny? This is kind of funny, right? Like, it's kind of like a... Yeah?